Hello, good evening, everybody. It is Wednesday evening. Thank you guys for taking the time out to join me. I am your host, Francis McMiller, licensed mental health therapist and mental wellness coach and business coach here in Jacksonville, Florida. Guys, I just wanted to welcome you guys to the Mental Wellness Sanctuary, where we'll be talking about something that is, I always have something to say, y'all. However, this evening's topic is a short but sweet one. I just want to bring something to the forefront because if you're anything like me and others that I know around me, a lot of us are very uncomfortable right now in the season that we are in life. And when I say uncomfortable, I don't mean it in a bad way. For some people, it might feel that way. For other people, it might be something that is really positive for them. However, I do want to just touch base on it because inside of my therapy sessions, inside of my coaching sessions, when I'm doing business coaching or consultations with other people, I'm always probing them about their level of comfortability. Also, just seeing, what areas of life they're uncomfortable in and how they can grow from those places of being uncomfortable. A lot of times, because it's something that's uncomfortable, we want to remove ourselves from that thing that is uncomfortable as fast as possible. However, sometimes if we speed through that process, y'all, then we might miss something or we might not get from it what we need to get from it so that we can be directly prepared for our next season. So, just give you guys a few moments just to pop on, and then I'll go ahead and get started. Of course, just want to remind you guys that Saturday, May the 11th, I will be at the Schultz Center and I will be doing my it's like a not a mental wellness, it's like a wellness fair. It's at the Schultz Center. It's from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mother's Day weekend. So if you guys are not doing anything, you can definitely come out and say hello to me. And I look forward to seeing you guys that are actually coming out to join us. So I am going to go ahead and get started, guys. And I apologize if I sound a little weird or if I look a little weird. My sinuses are bothering me a little bit, but I did not want to miss jumping on here to share this stuff with you guys because it is so super, super, super important. I also wanted to let you guys know that I am working on some latest developments. Y'all, I have so many nice things that are going on right now. So many good things are going on. And so I'll be making an announcement in a little while. Not yet. I'm not ready to tell yet, but I will be making some announcements just about some of the good things that I'm going to be doing in the next coming weeks and the next coming months, guys. So just keep your eyeballs open. You might see me in a couple of places. You might see me in new places. Who knows? So anyway, without further ado, y'all, let's get started because I don't want to take up too much time. So this is actually on one of my affirmation cards, and it says, "Get comfortable with being uncomfortable if you truly want to grow." And so this has been a running theme, I believe, for, like I said, for myself, a little bit of transparency for myself. I'm in one of the best but most uncomfortable seasons of my life, I think, where I am really being stretched. And I know people that are close to me that feel like they are definitely in that same space, in that same season where they are being stretched past their levels of comfortability, where God is pulling them to do certain things and to shift and to change directions or whatever the case may be. And so there are a lot of people around me that are feeling very, very stretched, myself included. And so I realized, just with others and even myself, that when we get into this place, right, like I mentioned before, where we feel like we are really uncomfortable, our first instinct is to try to get to this place of comfortability. But at the end of the day, um, like I said before, if we skate past that, then we end up possibly missing a important piece of that process that will directly prepare us for the next season. If I can go back and think about it, I can remember different times during my journey where I have been extremely uncomfortable, where even to this place with even me going live, y'all, was a struggle for me many moons ago to be able to do that because I did not like that part. I did not want to be in the forefront. I did not want to be seen. And so, but I realize now in the direction that I am moving as I am watching life unfold for myself now, how vitally important it was for me to be stretched, for me to be uncomfortable in that season, and for me to sit in that discomfort so that way it can truly help me grow. I always say, to a certain extent, if you're comfortable, then you may not be growing nearly as much as you need to be um, to kind of push you forward. So keep that in mind, y'all. If you find yourself being uncomfortable, um, instead of trying to push through it and press forward and just get through it so quickly, I'm going to challenge you guys to slow down a little bit and to recognize the things that are uncomfortable for you, why they are uncomfortable for you, and encourage you to work through those things. You still may not get comfortable with it, but if you understand the basics for it, if you understand why, then that is the part that will help you grow. That's the part that will help you move forward and perhaps help you learn whatever it is that you need to learn during that time, during that season, so that way you can be prepared for your next season. So, the scripture that I have for this one is what's on my affirmation card, which is John 15, verse 2. I'm reading from the English Standard Version. However, it says, "Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he takes away, and every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes, that it may bear more fruit." And so, with that being said, guys, I want you to think about, like I said, those areas that are really uncomfortable for you. Examine why they're uncomfortable for you. This is something that I do with all of my clients when it comes to counseling, when it comes to coaching, or when it comes to consultations that I'm doing. Even when people are trying to decide whether or not we are a good fit for each other, whether business wise or counseling wise, I always ask them, what's uncomfortable for you? What are you struggling with? Those kinds of things, because that'll help them to understand. You can't change the things that you're not aware of. And the more awareness we have about something, the more awareness we have about how it impacts us. And all of that is the easier, not necessarily easier, but the more likely you'll be to make the changes and make the right changes. And because they'll be built off of what the actual issue is. One of the things that I do a lot with clients, no matter the aspect, is I focus a lot on like a solution focused type of thing. So what is the solution, or what's the problem, and then what's the solution for that problem? So anyway, that's a whole nother spiel for a whole nother conversation. So I just had a few questions for you guys that I wanted you to consider as you are examining the areas where you're uncomfortable at. So one thing to keep in mind is that oftentimes when we are unable to move forward in something, it's because we become too comfortable with it. If we think about our levels of comfort and how comfortable we are, we can see that, hey, if I have to start going in earlier, then that's going to make me uncomfortable. So I'd rather be comfortable right now, so I'm not going to do that. Or if that means that you have to make a sacrifice in another area, for some of us, comfort really runs our lives to a place where we don't want to move because if I do that, I'm going to be uncomfortable. And so what ends up happening is being comfortable ends up stagnating you in your process. It stagnates you in different areas because you won't move, because you prefer to have that comfort. Or for some of us, have made comfort an idol, to where if anything makes them uncomfortable, then they choose not to go forward. And so be mindful of that as well. So when God is pushing us past our comfort zones and he's challenging us to allow, him to push us into our purpose or whatever, we should ask ourselves the following questions. So of course, I only have 3 for you guys. And so the first question that I have is, what areas in your life have you grown too comfortable in? So what areas of your life have you grown too comfortable? It's important for you to know, because more than likely these are areas that you really need to be pushing forward and doing something different, whether that's going back to school, whether that's starting a business, whether that is your healing journey, whether that is getting coaching from somebody or counseling from something, whatever it looks like for you. So, what areas of your life have you grown too comfortable with them? And I want you to list these things out because I really want you to take some time to go back and examine those at a later time. The next question that I have for you is what needs to take place in order for you to move from your place of comfort so that you can really start making the progress that you need to make? And so, for some people, this is a sacrifice. What is the sacrifice that you're willing to make in order for you to be able to start seeing that forward movement in your life that you desire to see? I think for a lot of us, what we desire, what we want, where we want to go is on the opposite side of our willingness to, of course, submit and follow the Christ and, be obedient. But it's on the other side of our levels of comfort. Um, so we also should keep that in mind as well. Sometimes what we desire is on the other side of being uncomfortable. But because we love comfortability, we stay where we are. So just keep that in mind. And the last question that I have for you guys is this: what are you willing to give up in terms of comfort to push yourself into the next level? Um, no part of life doesn't come with some kind of sacrifice of some sort. And you have to be willing to be temporarily inconvenienced. You have to be willing to make temporary sacrifices in order for you to get to where it is that you desire. If a temporary sacrifice, for example, is something that you need to do, getting your finances together, but you're used to eating out, you're used to going out, you're used to doing it, okay, well, you're going to have to give up something if you're going to be unable to do both and still get to where it is that you're trying to go. Some of us have to be better stewards of our time, meaning, you know, are there things that you're doing that is wasting time or taking up time where you could be focusing in on doing something that you know you need to be able to do whenever you're trying to get to another level? Those are just two examples that I'll use, but we have to be willing to give up something in terms of comfort so that you can push yourself forward. Comfort and growth, and they don't mesh. They don't mix at all. So I want to make sure that you guys are really understanding that in order for you to get to this place that you desire, you're going to have to be uncomfortable. In order for you to see the changes that you desire to see in your life, that means that you have to be uncomfortable. But again, I don't want you guys to blow through the being uncomfortable because, like I said, in that discomfort, there is a lot to learn. Um, I know personally for me, when I get to this uncomfortable place where I experience discomfort, I used to be that person that just wanted to go past it. Like, just get me out of here. I don't want to do this anymore. But I had to learn that, at least for me, that these are the moments that God is really trying to show me me. He's trying to show me maybe a mindset that I have. He's trying to show me a lack of trust. He might be trying to show me a lack of faith in some areas. Um, there's plenty of things. He might be showing me the hearts and minds of spirits of other people around me. There are different things that I can see in the midst of my discomfort. And at the end of the day, there's much to learn in that discomfort, y'all. So, those are the main things that I have for you guys this evening. So, I'll just repeat the questions again, just in case anybody missed them or came on afterwards. So, the first question I asked was, what areas of your life have you grown too comfortable within your life? The second question is, what needs to take place in order for you to move from a place of comfort so that you can begin to truly grow? And the last question, y'all: what are you willing to give up in terms of comfort to push yourself to where it is that you desire to go? So after you sit with this, after you guys write with this, I'm always going to challenge you to come up with a plan or a strategy or something that you can use to kind of help you move past this place of comfort, even if it's baby steps, y'all. It doesn't have to be these really big, drastic steps that we have to do. Sometimes, if we just slow down and pace ourselves one foot in front of the other, um, then we can still make that progress that we desire to make, y'all. Like I said, I don't know about you guys, but we are definitely in stretching season. And either you're going to go forward and be stretched, or you're going to be stuck and left behind. Now, if you're anything like me, I don't want to be stuck. I don't like to be stuck. I don't like to be left behind, any of that. So for me, I may try to negotiate. I may wrestle a little bit, but I definitely try to go ahead and move my feet and move forward. And I notice, and I'm pretty sure others that are closer to me also notice that whenever we just take that first step, it kind of seems like it creates this snowball effect, y'all, where it starts opening up things, it starts changing things, it starts changing people, it starts doing different things when we go ahead and do what it is that we know we've been called to do obediently. So, you guys, I just want to help you guys to remember that. Do remember that. Um, so I said I didn't have a whole lot to say, but I felt like it was really important because some of us that are in this stretching season, you may be experiencing some good and some bad. You may be feeling like you're in some kind of spiritual warfare or something like that because you are moving in the direction that you know that you should be, or that you are in alignment with the will of God on your life. So you have to stand tall, you have to stand flat footed, y'all. You have to put on the whole armor of God. I'm not going to lie. Some of that stuff, it's been a lot of things going on, both good and bad for some people. But the stretching is necessary. Don't get weary in well doing, guys. For you will reap a harvest in the due season, whatever that season is, whenever it comes for you, sorry. So again, I just wanted to remind you guys that I do have my books. I have my journals here on hand. I will be selling these in this month on the 11th. So if you would like to pick one up, I have my Mask Off book. I have my Manifest Journal, guys, and I also have my affirmation cards. So I will definitely be at the Schultz Center. You'll see that flyer circulating around because they just sent it to me. So I was waiting for that so I can start posting it. So meet me there if you guys can, if you will. And if you are interested in any type of services, so in counseling, if you're looking for a therapist right now, I am accepting new clients. You can find me on Growth Therapy, Psychology Today, Uplift. You can find me on Headway if you would like. Any of those platforms, you're more than welcome to log on to see if I accept your insurance carriers. Of course, I am here in Florida and I can see you guys in Florida. And so just keep that in mind as well. I am licensed in Florida only. And also, if you are looking for a business coach, somebody that can assist you with your childcare business or assist you with starting your mental health practice, if you're looking for a qualified supervisor, I am able to do all of those things, guys. So if you know of somebody that's trying to get started, I do HR, I do admin kinds of things. I do all those things, y'all. So if you need to get in contact with me, you are definitely able to find me. Just send me a message here on Facebook. I'm also on YouTube, guys. And you can definitely find me on Instagram and TikTok as well. So I am going to bid you guys a farewell for this evening. I hope that you guys will join me next week on Wednesday at 7 p.m. for the next episode of the Mental Wellness Sanctuary. Usually I have topics ahead of time, but it seems like here lately, my topics kind of run in front of me as I go. So, but anyway, y'all, meet me back here next week, 7 p.m. at the Mental Wellness Sanctuary. I'm your host, the Speaker of Life, Coach Francis, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.